something that I see that goes on all the time that aggravates the fuck out of me. And I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's when a motherfucker. I'll give you a better. Let me give you an example. Have you ever been in a room full of dudes that ain't never played a sport game in their life, for example? They ain't never played sports, ain't never did nothing. But yet they criticize everybody else that does. For instance, they watching the NFL. Man, that fucking dude is an asshole. He's stupid. He don't know what the fuck he's doing. You know, why did they pick him for that team? You know, that motherfucker got his ass knocked out. Man, he can't fight worth of shit. Man, you know, and on and on. You know what I'm talking about. And you know, every once in a while, it's okay to say something like, "Dang, why did he do that?" But to sit up there and clown a man and say he ain't worth shit and he ain't did nothing. Let me tell you something. The NFL pays people, and this is my opinion, and I don't know all these to be fact, but because there may be somebody get on here and tell me I'm wrong, and I might be. But from my understanding, NFL pays people to scout. Okay, either they pay them for bringing it to them, or they pay them to go out and look for talent. These guys are trained to look for talent. They're trained. This is a money investment to somebody down the road, whether it be an NFL team or whatever. So it's an investment, and people usually do their, homework before they invest money in something or somebody, for the most part. But somehow, I guess you, who are sitting up here criticizing somebody on TV, saying, I don't know why they picked him, he's ignorant, he's dumb, he don't know how to play ball, he don't know how to do none of this shit, no better than the people that are paying the money for the man. Somebody paying that man money, $1 million a year, $2 million a year, whatever it may be. Now, I don't take this literally when I see people. I just take it a bunch of guys getting together talking shit about ball. But I just use that as an example. So every time I see somebody in a football game, party or something, which I don't go to parties, but I've seen them on TV and in the movies, I'll just say it like that. I just know it's a bunch of guys, being dudes, whatever. It ain't no big deal. But what bothers me is when I see a motherfucker out on the street and he's fighting and he get knocked out, and then some no-name motherfucker puts his face on YouTube and talking shit. Look at this sucker here. He got his ass knocked out. He's a bitch. He ain't shit. And 9 times out of 10, it's some motherfucker whose feet ain't never even touched the street, who ain't never even been in the street whatsoever. Ain't never been around no thugs, ain't never been around no nothing in life. But, you want to instigate some shit, put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube, and talk shit about it, and talk about how he got knocked out and how funny it was to you. But your bitch ass ain't never been in a fight ever in your life. You run from the fight, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nobody, you got so many years on this earth, ain't everybody trying to get into fights with people and maybe get paralyzed or killed or whatever. Or why even put yourself through that? Okay, I can understand all that, but don't stand up there and be the same motherfucker to be the one to put somebody else on blast talking about how bad they are when you don't even play the game. You ain't never played the game. You ain't never been out there. Now, I'm not talking about an average everyday street fight where some people get into a road rage incident or an argument. I'm talking about cats that be in the street that be set it up, that be in gangs and walk around in the neighborhood, where life is a little more rough. And for you to put them on blast like that, and you ain't never even drove through the neighborhood. You ain't never even been on the motherfucking block. You ain't been nowhere near there, but for you to sit up there and talk and laugh about a motherfucker while you in the comfort of your suburban home, for example, that shit make me fucking mad than a motherfucker. I can't understand it. I've seen fights and said, damn, he got the shit knocked out of him, but there's no way in the world I'm gonna take that shit and put it on the fucking internet. There ain't no way in the world I'm gonna take that, and be, posting it on Facebook and advertising it and all that. Maybe it's because I've been knocked out before. Maybe it's because I know every motherfucker that has fought has been knocked out or had their ass whipped at one point. And if you haven't, more than likely you have not been fighting the right people. Or maybe in your mind you have. You know who to fight. I do my best to stay away from that type of shit. I do my best to try not to have to go there. Although some people say it's not true, I'm always telling somebody about themselves. I try not to. I try to keep my tongue in check and know that everything that comes out of my mouth has a consequence sooner or later. But it goes down to like me being a truck driver. For those of you who don't know who I am, I was putting gold teeth in guys' mouth, gold grills, and making some jewelry and doing shit like that for years. And before that, I was in and out of the penitentiary, the jail, work release, probation, community corrections, residential services, all that shit for years. I thought I was never going to get clear of it. And I just had to, there's a weightlifter, his name is the Hulk. He's originally from New Orleans, I believe. He lives in California now. He's I guess you would say almost a friend or a protege to C.T. Fletcher. Anybody don't know who he is out of Compton. And he says something that I've been saying, and when you hear something that you've been saying that come out of somebody else's mouth that's being successful, it makes you kind of feel, validates what you're doing. And he said, what you got to do is get up and complete that day. Today I got to complete this day and try to do everything I can in a righteous way. I got to try to do everything, make all the right decisions today, and then tomorrow I get up and start over. Now, if I worry about what's going on today and start doing what I got to do to make it today and make all the right moves for, then that's just going to benefit me for tomorrow. It goes without saying. So that's what I got to do today. You just got to get up every day and put today behind you and try to make the best decisions you can do for what you got going on today on your plate. And then tomorrow you pick up where you left off and then start over again and start, until you start. And every once in a while you need to stop and stand up and look around and see which direction you're going and making sure that you're going in the right direction. You might look back behind you where you was and look in the front where you're trying to go and look at where your line is. Are you aligned with where your goal is, what you're trying to do in life? Are you aligned with going that way? Instead of worrying about motherfuckers getting knocked out and posting the shit on Facebook and on YouTube, and you need to be starting to worry about what the fuck you got going on in your life, because you might find yourself in that same neighborhood with the same people you sitting up here putting on blast. That ain't always gonna be good. Yeah, a motherfucker to get knocked out today might be the same motherfucker to knock your ass out tomorrow. And that's just the truth. A lot of you on this video are gonna have something crazy or negative to say. I understand. You don't know nothing about me, and not a damn thing about me, and that's cool. I don't take that shit personal. I used to. That's because I was stupid and immature, but now I know a little bit more. And I've understood. And it's like I say, back to this truck driving thing, I remember when people told me, Cadillac, don't do it, man. You can't do it. That ain't you. I remember when people was telling me about selling teeth. I was working at the car wash, okay? And I live in Wichita, Kansas. I was working at the car wash, the Green Lantern, and Joe's Sea Cover Car Wash, wiping cars down, okay? And then when I got off of work from there, I would go to a second job. It could be a fast food joint, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Long John Silver's, Popeyes, all of them I done worked. Or it could have been the motherfucking nursing home where I was washing shitty sheets and mopping floors, And I did that every day while I was selling little dime bags of weed and other little bullshit on the side, hustling and trying to come up. And I couldn't outthink it. I was like, how do I get out of this? What do I do? I don't got no education. So what the fuck I'm gonna do? Gotta go see my probation officer or parole officer, depending on which one I was in at the time, once a week. I gotta go pee in a cup once a week. I gotta worry about these motherfuckers showing up at my door anytime they want to search my house. I just felt like I was never gonna get there. By the way, my record is expunged today. and I have bought me a truck. Well, I'm buying me a truck. Let me be proper here. I got a year left, and the truck is paid off. So that's what I've been doing, trying to, I focus. I go across country. I go from fucking New York to LA, So right now we're in Wyoming, up here by Rawlings on I-80. So, but, I'm also writing a book. When I got out of the penitentiary, I had to do some counseling for my anger issues and some other stuff. First, I went down with that shit because I felt like that's all I had. That's all I had was my anger. That's all I had that gave me the edge that I needed to be who I was every day. That's what I thought. Then I realized it was taken from me more than it was given. It was taking my life away. It was sucking the life out of me like a leech. Because it was making me catch little cases here and there, violating me, sending me back. And I got sick of that shit. And I got thinking, well, man, maybe I do need to get on some medicine. And I did, and I tried all these different medicines, and it didn't work all that great, for me. It was causing me all kinds of side effects. It was fucking up my little bullshit job. I worked a lot of labor jobs, construction, concrete, everything, and that shit was fucking. I couldn't function. And then I got my boss in my face talking shit. Hey, and then that would cause me to flare up. And it was just a big old fucking bunch of bullshit. Thank God for this trucking job, because it gave me a chance not to have somebody over my shoulder, and it gave me a chance to be my own boss. But everybody had told me back in the day there were some guards, a couple of guards, and mostly counselors that told me, hey, you should write a book. You should write a book. Motherfucker, I'm trying to pay the rent for tomorrow. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to pay tomorrow's rent. I don't give a fuck. How am I have time to sit down and write a book? My writing skills ain't that good. My handwriting ain't the greatest. I couldn't even get into that shit. I thought about it, but I didn't even know where to begin. And then, I started seeing some other people come up with some books that had been through a little less than I had been through. And they was getting paid off them books. So I started thinking about it from a financial standpoint. You know what? I could use that extra money, and I could use that extra money to help me to pave the road ahead for what I'm trying to do. And so that's what I decided to do. I got my wife together, and me and her, every other evening, we sit down and do a couple of pages. I'm about halfway through. And, some of you that don't know anything, well, what's so special about you? There ain't nothing special, that's for damn sure, because there's people that have been through worse than I have, and there are people that have done more extraordinary things than I'm doing. That's for damn sure, because I'm not nobody but a punk-ass truck driver, but I'm not dead, and I'm not in the penitentiary, and where a lot of my friends are, and I'm not handicapped, and I'm not in poverty. I'm not rich, but I'm not in poverty like I was. I mean, I couldn't even afford to ride the goddamn bus. I couldn't do it. And I've always been running from homelessness. That's been a motivation for me. I'm not going to lie. It's crazy to say that, but I'm always running from it. I don't have family. I got a brother that I help take care of every once in a while when he needs something. And a sister that me and her don't talk because of reasons that'll come out in the book. But mom and dad are dead. And as you'll see, I hate to say it, but they weren't they sure as hell wasn't no blessing to me. They're the reason that I am where I am today. Just think, I could have been a clean-cut ass white boy with some polo shirt on, some plaid shorts, and some goddamn flip-flops on, walking around in Beverly Hills, maybe. So, no, I'm not. So at the end of the day, I get up and I take care of whatever God puts in front of me. That's what I do every day. I take care of whatever God puts in front of me, and I keep fucking moving. A lot of people will say that I'm a poser. Some people will say, call me Wigger, just don't do that shit to my face. That's all I can say. There's some people that got their ass whipped in Wichita, and I know a lot of my people in Wichita are looking at this for making those type of comments to me. The poser thing, I don't give a fuck about what you think about that. I just really don't. If you are are raised around preachers your whole life, there's a good chance that when you come up, that's what the fuck you're going to be. You're going to be a preacher. There's a chance that if you were raised around criminals your whole life, people stealing cars, there's a good chance, a great chance that when you grow up, you're going to be a car thief. Okay? If you raised around Mexicans your whole life, which me and my brother, we were raised down in Laredo, Texas, and Brownsville, Texas. Look it up on the map. It's on the border. And I have, that comes out in my book too, but that's where me and my brother grew up. My brother speaks perfect Spanish. My Spanish is little, but I speak it enough to where people that don't know it think I speak perfectly. So, but if you grew up around Mexicans your whole life, well, you're going to be a Spanish-speaking motherfucker, and maybe the only ones that can tell you ain't Mexican are the ones that are Mexican. So I guess, I've lived most of my life around Mexicans and blacks. I don't have one prejudice bone in my body. But when I go to the penitentiary, my time is a little harder than most. Because I do not, first of all, I don't believe in no racism. And definitely not against my own kind. And I have no problem with some of my friends have told me, oh man, you just another brother. No, I know who I am. I ain't got no problem with being who I am. I have no problem with my skin color. I have no problem with my, being white at all. And, if I could have changed that, would I? No. Although I see a lot of my race doing a lot of shit that I have to turn away from. I have to turn my head. I went into Ferguson, Missouri to a soul food restaurant, and me and a friend of mine, right after what happened with Michael Brown over there, and all that racist shit came out about them police officers. It was hard for me to walk in that restaurant. I've been going in there for the longest. It was hard for me to do that. It was hard for me to because I'm embarrassed about what I see. And there's some things that I don't agree with. What made my race think they were the master race, I have no fucking clue. I sure like to meet the person who told everybody that, and what was so different. Maybe he thought we had an extra finger than everybody else. I don't know. But I live usually in the hood, or I usually live, close to the hood. And a lot of it is by, when I was in poverty, may not have had too much of a choice. But, because even people that live in the hood don't want to live there sometimes, because even they don't agree with some of the shit they see every day. But, at the end of the day, people, they don't like, some people don't like my vehicles. Some people don't like the way I dress. Today I look like a biker. But some people don't like the way I dress. Some people don't like the way my cars look. Some people don't like the gold teeth in my mouth. Some people don't like my tattoos and what they represent or say. I don't give a fuck, because I'm breathing and I'm alive. And to me, that is a big thing, and I really don't care what you think. If you are one of the people that do not like what you hear or see coming from me, like I have said to my Facebook people, get your ass off my page. No need to even comment. Don't let me waste your time on typing a comment. I mean, save your time for somebody that matters. That's my thought for real. Because you don't matter to me. You ain't gonna support me one way or the other. Then fuck you. You support me, I support you. You don't support me, I don't fuck with you. I can't even say it any better than that. So anyway, I just wanted to put a video on here today regarding that. If you ain't never played the game, then how can you criticize somebody else that has? The game of life. People told me, don't buy this truck. You're going to do bad. It's a lease. Anybody think about trucking, people hate leases. Well, my friend done paid off 2 trucks this way. My credit ain't the best. And so this is the way I chose to go. The point I'm making is that at least I'm getting out here and I'm on the field. While you on the motherfucking bleachers, I'm on the field. At the end of the day, when I get through, you know what, that's another video. I'll talk about trucking a little bit, but that's another video. But I want to start putting videos on here a little bit here and there to introduce myself a little bit so people know who I am. And when my book eventually comes out, you know, everything should line up with what I say in my book. All right.